I will avenge you, father! I will save you, mother! I will kill you, Fiona!
I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Fiona.
Why would he stow away to such a hellish place?
To find what was stolen from me.
And what is that?
The kingdom.
You must choose between kindness for your kin or hate for your enemies.
Your strength breaks men's bones. I have the cunning to break their minds.
Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And last night, opening weekend, Friday night, I went in and I saw The Northman. Now, you know, as many of you might know, there was a lot of anticipation, a lot of build-up with this movie. And, well, without further ado, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up. It's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk. I don't recommend it. And for director Robert Eggers' new movie, the man who brought us The Witch, who had just recently done The Lighthouse, brings us The Northman, and it is a shock a thumbs up. Now let me just say that this stars a stellar cast: Alexander Skarsgård, Anna Taylor-Joy, William Dafoe makes an appearance, Bjork of all people makes a cameo. Even Nicole Kidman gets in on this action, and Ethan Hawke, you know, right before I guess he went into Moon Knight, he was doing this movie. And wow, let me just say, I guess what I would compare this to mainly is a mix of Hamlet, Shakespeare's Hamlet, and Conan the Barbarian. So we have Alexander Skarsgård. You know, as a young boy, he sees his father murdered by his own brother to take and seize the throne, stealing his mother, the queen, and forcing her to be with him. And Alexander Skarsgård barely escapes with his life and swears revenge. So years later, after he has, you know, forged himself in battle, man of muscle, etc., very Conan the Barbarian like, he comes seeking revenge on his uncle. And so right away, you know, I guess some people were expecting like a large, you know, one Viking army against another Viking army, but it is kept very small and very personable, just mainly against Alexander Skarsgård's uncle and himself, as seeking the revenge. Alexander Skarsgård, although he could have brought in a lot of people to assist him, as honor would seem to demand, he has sworn to do this alone. And it is alone that he, you know, starts out on his journey. However, he soon is beguiled or falls in love with Anna Taylor-Joy's character, a other captive of his uncle, an apparent somewhat witch per se, or at least very knowledgeable in healing and other things, that makes her a great asset along with her beauty, and he quickly falls and allies himself with her in the quest to pursue the rest of his mission. of getting revenge on his uncle. And, well, let me just say that overall, this is filmed in Iceland, and like New Zealand, or Hawaii, it is one of those rare places that has many different climate habitats. And so you can go from desert-like areas, volcanic areas, to lush green forest, to ocean, all in the span of just maybe an hour's drive. And let me just tell you, not since the Lord of the Rings New Zealand movies have we seen such an epic background as is used in this film that Robert Egger does for this film. This still has all the characteristics of a Roger Egger film, as far as a little bit of, 1 foot in the supernatural, 1 foot in reality. And you're always kind of kept guessing it's like, is it ever going to spill over all the way into the fantastical? Or is it ever just going to be, oh, this is all in his mind and he's just nuts? Or this is just a fever dream? Because, let me just tell you, without any spoilers, there is the possibility that all this is in Alexander Skarsgård's character's mind. It is set up in a way that I was continually guessing all the way up to the end, and I'm waiting for end credits to find out, what is really going on with this movie. And, well, I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to see it for yourself. But that is the kind of tension that Robert Egger gives in his movies, despite the budget. And this is his largest one yet at $90 million. And I think, most of that was used for, the stars, Anna Taylor-Joy, Alexander Skarsgård, William Dafoe, and then also, filmed on location in Iceland, which is a beautiful area. And he definitely uses the backdrop to his advantage. Again, reminiscent of the Lord of the Rings, where you can see so much in the background without spending anything extra because it's all real. You don't need any CGI backgrounds. I will say that the CGI is used sparingly in this film, fortunately. However, there's an opening scene of some Viking boats that look totally fake and absolutely cartoony, which it's like, and right away that kind of put me on guard for the film, thinking that, oh no, what's going to happen in this film? This looks like crap. But right away, as soon as that scene's over, you don't have to worry about bad CGI anymore. How they didn't have money for models or combine models with the CGI to make it look a little bit more realistic, I'm not sure. But, if there's only one flaw I could say about this movie, that would be it. Otherwise than that, like I said, Egger really brings on the tension. Alexander Skarsgård really emotes this brutality, this bloodlust for vengeance against his uncle. And Anna Taylor-Joy, all the way back from The Witcher, she's a very beautiful girl. Honestly, and now she's a woman. She's been in many, many films. And I still have to say that, she still shows that, despite being a young lady, a young woman, she still looks very girly in this movie. And because of the times, that's okay. But she has a relationship with Alexander Skarsgård in this movie that it's like I felt a little uncomfortable with the age gap of the difference here. It's like, ooh, I don't know, that could be your dad. But I mean, back in the old days, and unfortunately, in many of the world still today, that age is still okay. So, and Anna Taylor-Joy, she plays a character who is well experienced, well-knowledged, well beyond her physicality of years. So that's not a detriment. And again, it is of the air of which they're playing old-timey Vikings kind of a thing. But some people might be put off by that. Again, I just slightly thinking about it, it's like, hey, but again, that's only because Anna Taylor-Joy looks so young. Despite being in these sexy movies like The Queen's Gambit, or Last Night in Soho, where she's kind of oozing sex appeal in one sense or another, with her mystique. Maybe it's the big anime eyes, who knows? This is not the movie to look into that kind of thing. But, let me just say that she is quite fetching in this movie, and she is given a very well deserved part, being kind of the intelligence or the cunning behind Alexander Skarsgård's revenge, helping to hone and focus his actions so that he can be more effective. And he learns from her that he is stronger with her than without her. So it is also a little bit of a coming-of-age story, a little bit of a Conan the Barbarian kind of a tale, and again, set against the backdrop of Shakespeare's Hamlet, of a prince denied his throne, seeking revenge against those who had scorned him. Unfortunately, with much of the same results, all in the sweet packaging or interesting candy-coated flavor of a Viking-like barbarian tale. Now that I've totally lost you on this review, let me just say a few more things. I can't speak more highly of the background of Iceland against this, and how did Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore also shot there. However, you really didn't see much of the background and beauty of Iceland like you do in this one. And it is quite breathtaking and mystical and magical. Now, this is a rated R film. There is a lot of blood, a lot of violence, people bashing other people's skulls in, a lot of decapitations, slashes with swords, etc. So this is not your kids' movie to take them to go see. No matter how much they might like, D&D or sword and sorcery kind of anime or whatnot, this is a little extreme even for them, for 7 and below. Even older, 14 might be too young for this movie, unless you really know your kid. So and I don't know if you take your girlfriend to see this movie. I mean, it is, there is a little bit of a romantic aspect to this movie, but mainly you're going there for the tension of a revenge plot. And I wanted to say action there for a second, and there is some good action in this movie, but not quite as much as I was expecting or maybe hoping. But still, once I got into this movie, which is again a shock, a thumbs up, I was not disappointed in the least. And the way Robert Eggers does the film style and keeps that tension, I was always on the edge of my seat, ready for something to happen, waiting for that next shoe to drop and say, aha, there it is. All the way through the movie. This is not a movie that I could sit back passively and let wash over me and say, okay, now I'm immersed. Was I fascinated? Was I immersed in the world of Iceland and all this other beauty and stuff? Yes. Was I interested in Skarsgård's tale and his seek of revenge and romance with Anna Taylor-Joy? Yes. But I could not relax. I was constantly on the edge, waiting waiting for the next scene. And that is something of a true director that Robert Eggers has done, and I hear has continued to do throughout his movies. And he has not lost it in this larger budget epic of the Northman. I recommend this movie. Again, it's not for everybody, not for the squeamish of heart. It's not as you know, bloody and violent as, say, a Kill Bill. You know, everything that is, but there is some blood, there is some gore, and it all makes sense to the time and the weapons that they used, period, correctly. So, you know, just be warned for that. And again, not for small children, but definitely a strong Shaka thumbs up. Robert Eggers will probably get some type of nomination, maybe for the BAFTAs or something. Anna Taylor-Joy, Alexander Skarsgård, possibly. I don't think this is Oscar material, but he may get some nods. This film may get some nods there as well, just because of the film style and the tension that is brought to the screen. All right, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, giving the Northman a Shaka thumbs up. Go ahead and check it out this weekend, when you can, however you can, or on streaming later on, and you won't be disappointed. All right, mahalo and aloha.